And so my last question kind of goes back to the beginning, and the expectations piece that we've been talking about straight through here. Understandably, as you pointed out, like people want to get the most that they can for their business, but they may not have a realistic sense of what that is, and they may be getting you know multiple types of advice from different people.
Mhm.
what what do you recommend for people to get so that they can have a realistic sense of what their business is worth so that they're working with good information? And I know that you said that there's a lot of different moving parts to that, so that's tricky. Just wondering if there's any sort of rule of thumb or what you would
Yeah, I
suggest.
mean, sure. I mean, seller generally, people who own businesses go and search for a broker to help them sell their business because they're looking for someone who's in the space and has the expertise and has the experience. Overwhelmingly, I would say a seller needs to be comfortable with their broker and then needs to kind of let the broker have control of the process because that's what you're hiring them for. That's what their business is. I mean, seller's business is building the business that they own and doing it successfully. And now when it's your turn to try and maximize your exit, let the people who do that best take control. And a seller trying to control the process makes it difficult. So trust and allowing the broker to control the process, drive the bus, makes a huge difference. Aside from make sure your business financials are separate from your personal financials and you're not running expenses through that you're going to have to justify during a due diligence process. Make sure you have your contracts in place. So the things that you need to have prepped generally to sell a business. Contracts are a big thing. Have everything in writing. I mean, I had a deal almost fall apart this year that ended up closing, but there were two partners in the sell. The business had two partners that was selling, and one of them was going to continue to work with the business after the deal closed. And the sellers had, a handshake agreement as to how they were going to distribute the proceeds of closing at the closing table. They didn't have anything in writing. And literally we were signing I sent documents out for electronic signatures, and the buyer signed the deal and one of the sellers signed the deal, and the other seller, the one who was going to remain on with the business post close, came back to the table and said, I want more. I'm not signing unless I get more, basically holding the deal hostage.
Right.
So
Wow.
it was an interesting couple of days negotiating that deal across the finish line, given the circumstances. And really, it's very important that if there are multiple partners in a business, to have everything in writing. Before, since that happened at the beginning of this year, I've required any business that we list, that we take on clients, if there are multiple partners, we need to see in writing what the deal is on the owner side for the distribution of the proceeds, so that we don't go through all of the effort of time and energy and money and essentially closing a deal and then not getting our commission because of some argument that's happening, that's out of our control.
That's internal. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, crazy.
Oh, okay. So that sounds like it's another really important piece that you just kind of learned along the way here this year.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, you learn something new. I mean, every transaction is different. Businesses are similar, but it's largely personality, buyers and sellers that you're dealing with. So everything's a little different.